Welcome back to Good Night. We're going to get a little serious here because I think we have an important interview that we're going to talk about. We've got Samson Racioppi here tonight from the
Super Happy Fun America.
And so you are planning, you are organizing,
Yes.
infamously known as the Straight Pride Parade in
That is
Boston,
correct.
right?
Yes.
All right. So let's get the difficult question first out of the group. Is your group an anti-gay group?
100% not, absolutely not. We are a pro-straight organization. We have nothing against those who live non-traditional lifestyles, and we actually have a gay liaison named Chris Bartley. He's working with our LGBT allies, and we also have Milo Yiannopoulos
Right.
as our Grand Marshal. He's a very famous gay conservative speaker, activist.
All right, so let's dig in a little bit. So you're here tonight to say that your parade is not an anti-gay event.
I'm here to say a whole lot more than that. It's unfortunate that the media is portraying this as a divisive us versus them thing, because we believe we don't have to do our advocacy at the expense of some other group. You know, for example, the entire month of June is Gay Pride.
Okay.
Well, they don't go out into the streets and celebrate their pride at the expense of straight people, and we are going out and doing the same thing. We are not anti any other group. We are just advocating on behalf of straight advocacy issues.
In preparing for this interview today, you know, I did some Google searches, I did some Twitter searches. There are other people calling the group a white supremacy group.
It's terrible.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Well, I'm an activist. You may have heard about the free speech movement that's been happening in this country for the past couple of years. I was involved with that big one that happened on the Boston Common in August 2017, a week after Charlottesville.
The free speech rally?
The free speech rally.
Okay.
And I, like everybody else, was watching the free speech movement play out on TV. And the way the media was presenting it was, you have these white supremacists and Nazis holding these free speech rallies, and you have these anti-fascists coming out and shutting them down. And every single time this happens, there's violence, there's property destruction. And as an observer from home, I want nothing to do with either one of those sides. But I do know how the media lies to get their agenda pushed through. When I heard that there was going to be one of these rallies in the Boston area, I wanted to go see for myself what the truth was. And it turns out they're just a bunch of conservative and libertarian activists who are talking about pro-constitutional, pro-free speech rights, and they're being labeled and lied about as if they are these bad hate groups.
All right, so you're saying that the genesis of this was the free speech rally a couple of years ago on Boston Common. So you, and paint the background of the story here, because so you and a couple friends got together and just said,
well,
what do we want to, how did we get to where we are today?
Sure. The Straight Pride Parade, you know, everybody has talked or joked about having one of these nearly every year. Somebody brings, oh, maybe we should have a Straight Pride Parade. And this time around...
Your group of friends, or?
My group of friends, I've heard, I see it on social media, things like that. And somebody, John Hugo, the president of our group, and our vice president, Mark Sahady, he's an Army veteran, captain in the Army, deployed overseas. They said, well, geez, maybe we can create one of these actual straight pride parades and try to fight back against this agenda that's been pushed against us. For example, let me speak to that real quick. The left likes to use this language of diversity and equality and inclusiveness. And in the meantime, all those words have been weaponized and used against us. It's portrayed, if you don't vote Democrat, you're not diverse, you're not inclusive, you don't believe in tolerance. And so the idea with our movement is we're going to take all those words, we use them as part of our advocacy, and look at the backlash that we've received. We've been attacked by groups across the country. AOC has tweeted about us. Whoopi Goldberg on The View made some extremely heterophobic comments against us. They joked that we were all straight white men who were in the closet. We don't bring up race. We don't bring up gender. This has nothing to do with any of those things. 96% of men and women identify as heterosexual, yet there are no significant civil rights organizations who are speaking up on their behalf. We're a legitimate movement standing up on behalf of traditional values.
So what are you hearing from people?
Well, you see what happens on the media and the news.
Okay.
But I'm the grassroots organizer, so my position with the organization is to mobilize volunteers and to help develop talent to make the parade successful. As a result, I get all the emails that's coming through the website. Vast majority are in support of what we are doing. There are people from all across the country who want to open up their own chapters. They want to have their own parades. Even people overseas, Germany, Europe, South America, Central America, there is so much support. It looks like this is going to be a nationwide movement, and we're building the infrastructure for that right now.
So you're hearing some positive stuff from some demographics. You're hearing some negative stuff from some demographics.
For sure.
I'm an old white guy, happily married for a long, long time, not gay, but I never thought about having a parade.
Sure.
So how does it appeal to my demographic?
Well, like I said, we're not just standing up and saying, we're straight, we want to celebrate our straightness. We are pushing back against this agenda that's been saying that, the values that you grew up with, which are universal to everyone in this country, are being threatened. And we are on the leading edge of pushing back against that agenda. So if you can stand with us and walk with us in the parade, we want you there. If you can't, then support us any way you can, whether it's by volunteering or getting some merchandise. But it should appeal to you because it's clear that our values are being attacked. Just the constitutional things, the stuff that makes the United States the beacon of freedom and liberty in the world is being threatened. And there's no real significant counter to it. If you are a conservative, you are constantly on the defensive against the agenda. We don't really have any offensive arguments right now. I believe that's why President Trump was such a huge sensation. That's why he won the way that he did. The media attacked him relentlessly. I think that the majority of Americans they identified with that. They recognize how fake news the media is, and they supported Trump because of the way that they portrayed him. And our Straight Pride Parade is being portrayed the same exact way, and I think that we're getting supporters in the exact similar manner.
In just an attempt to be fair, because we're always going to be fair here on Good Night and ask fair questions, and people can make their own conclusions as they want. Your words, 95% of America is straight, okay? And you also said the conservative movement, but 95% of America is not conservative. Fair?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This is not a conservative movement.
Okay.
It is it's a straight pride movement, but I don't think that constitutional and American values are owned by the left or the right. These are universal to everyone who is in the United States. If you are a human being, you should not be prohibited from speaking your mind, from being able to defend yourself against threats, to being secure in your homes and with your body. There should be nothing partisan about that whatsoever. Okay. But for some reason, a line is being drawn. The left is portraying us as a bunch of, as you said, white supremacists and hate mongers. And it's the conservatives and the people on that side who are standing up and understanding what we are doing here.
All right, so let's talk about the name of your group. Once again, say it.
It's the Super Happy Fun America, because we are a super happy, fun American group.
How'd you guys come up with that name?
This is actually pretty genius. Our founder, John Hugo, if you check out our website, superhappyfunamerica.com, you'll find a whole bunch of really comical, and we're taking the language of the left and we're parodying it, weaponizing it, and flipping it right back around at them. And so we anticipated this to be a viral movement, and it was going to be reported by all sorts of pundits across the country. And we knew that they were going to portray us in this negative manner with all this fake news. And in the process of reporting, they're going to have to say our name, Super Happy Fun America. And it's just this contradictory nature of saying with a straight face that these terrible white supremacists by the name of Super Happy Fun America are creating this straight pride parade. So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing.
So you guys are trying to have a little bit of fun with this, but you also, are taking this seriously.
It's absolutely serious.
Now let me ask you a question, because when I watched John Hugo on Jesse Waters on Fox, I'll say it in my words, I was stunned that you guys have Milo as your as your, what is he, your
He's the Grand Marshal.
Grand Marshal of the parade.
Yep.
How do you get to Milo? I mean, talk about a lightning rod of a person to have as the Grand Marshal of the parade. Describe the process for people.
Well, you may have heard about our original mascot that we, unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict, we could no longer have him. I don't know if you heard about the controversy.
Please tell the audience.
I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say his name at this point, but
Okay.
we did pick Brad Pitt as our mascot, and unfortunately he was unable to make it. His attorneys notified us in writing that he is not going to want to be a part of our movement, and so as a result, we were looking for a younger, more attractive, more somebody who's more receptive to what we were trying to do. And Milo,
as I earlier said,
right.
I'm a straight guy, but is there a more attractive person than Brad Pitt? So you're saying Milo is more attractive than Brad Pitt? Okay.
He's more in tune with heroic masculine virtues. And he knows a lot about being censored. He's been attacked relentlessly by those on the right. He's been by those on the left. He's been shut down by Antifa just for going out and expressing who he is in public. He understands very much what we're doing, and he wants to stand with us. Even as a member of a non-traditional lifestyle, he wants to stand up for straight rights.
But some people are portraying you, as we said earlier, as anti-gay. So you can understand why Milo would be a lightning rod for this type of thing, right from the start. Like, Milo's a controversial person, and you're free to choose whoever you want, but you understand the controversy that comes with Milo, right?
Milo, all right, so we're being portrayed as anti-gay.
Right.
You're aware that Milo is a gay conservative activist who just got married to another man.
Okay.
So it's hard for me to reconcile this idea that we're an anti-gay organization with this gentleman as our mascot and the face of our parade.
So you don't agree with the backlash?
Oh, absolutely not. No, we are just a pro-straight organization. We are we're a civil rights movement.
Okay.
We have quite an alliance between members of non-traditional lifestyles. We have a lot of LGBT members who are going to be marching with us in the parade. We only have very few criteria for excluding people. You have to be pro-American values, pro-constitutional values. Let me see. You have to be pro-constitution, pro-civic nationalism. We don't want any globalists. And we don't want any racists, hate mongers, alt-right. We don't, it's part of our mission statement that we're excluding these groups. The other thing we don't want is, since it's a pro-American, pro-family values type thing, we don't want any lewdness or nudity. But if you want to have a float, if you want to enter a float and you're a member of the LGBT community, you are more than welcome to join us. Okay. Not you, but you know.
Let's talk a little bit more about the process. You've been meeting with Marty Walsh, the mayor of Boston. So as people watch this on the internet around the world, Marty Walsh is the mayor of the city of Boston.
Yep.
Initially, I think it's fair to say that he said, no, we're not. You're not going to have the parade. Talk a little bit about your discussions with Mayor Walsh.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so there's a permitting process that you have to go through to get a parade approved. And the process was gone through by our organizers. The parade route, we have an appointment on Wednesday to go meet with the city. We're pretty sure that the date's going to be set for August 31st. But part of the ceremony, we wanted to have a flag raising ceremony as part of it. For the month of June, Mayor Walsh flew an LGBT flag out front of City Hall. And nothing wrong with that. We figured it's a good celebration for the month of June because it's Pride Month. But we asked for the same thing. You know, can we fly our straight pride flag out front of City Hall just for a few hours as part of our ceremony at the end of the parade? And they sent us a pretty thick document that was clearly generated by their lawyers with a whole bunch of exhibits and things explaining why they don't have to let us fly our flag. But they're gonna, I don't think they can get out of allowing us to have a parade. They realize that if it went to litigation, they'd probably lose. So Wednesday, we have an appointment with the city. We should have the date set in stone from that point forth.
Being a longtime elected local official, I know a lot about permitting and so forth. If you're going to have a parade in Boston, you're going to need to have police details, especially with a controversial subject like this. How are you guys going to pay for it?
Well, we are asking for the same privileges and accommodations as any other parade that's held in Boston. For example, we're looking for the same exact route as the Gay Pride Parade, not to mimic them or anything, just for logistical purposes, for planning and things. We figured the city is so used to planning for that parade that we could put the same policies and procedures in place for us. If those accommodations required nominal fees from the Gay Pride organizers, we're willing to pay those similar fees. But for the city to approach us and say, well, we're going to make you pay all these other exorbitant fees when none of these other groups have to do so, we think that that's unfair, and we're going to push back against that.
Are you prepared to take this to court?
We are looking for all the assistance we can get. We do have fundraisers and things. We have some legal volunteers, but we are willing and able to go to court if necessary. But we obviously don't want to. We just want to have our day in Boston in peace without any issues from the city.
And what's that day?
It's August 31st. It's a Saturday. It is Labor Day weekend. We figure because it's a Saturday, it will result in less disruptions to the city and traffic and things like that. And because this will be after the college kids are in the city, it might have a pretty good turnout from locals.
Let's talk a little bit about the troubles that you said. You said before we went live on this interview that you've had some problems with Antifa.
Oh my! All of our organizers, every single one of us have experienced very terrible things at the hands of Antifa.
So people know, what is Antifa?
Well, Antifa, they're a very anti-fun group, and they're not invited to our Straight Pride Parade.
Okay, what are they? Just so the people who don't know.
They call themselves anti-fascists.
Okay.
They dress in typically all black. They wear masks in public, and they turn up to shut down people like me from having a rally or event in public. We organize free speech rallies where we invite speakers to come out and just speak on whatever it is that they want to talk about. We've extended invitations to these leftist groups to say, hey, use our platform, say your piece. If you don't like us, say something about it.
Doesn't the Constitution provide us the opportunity for free speech?
The Constitution prevents the government from restricting our speech.
Okay.
So in these anti-fascists, their answer is they're engaging in free speech by going out into the streets and shutting us down. They believe that our presence is a threat to their community, and because we are threatening their community, they justify in their minds using physical violence against us. Last August in Providence, we had a rally down there. It got shut down by these violent anti-fascist protesters.
What was the protest in Rhode Island?
We were doing what was called a Freedom Rally, and
Okay.
it was just going to be a speaking event. We brought thousands of dollars of sound equipment. We brought canopies and things, and these anti-fascist protesters, they destroyed our equipment. They destroyed the speaker systems. The police had to deploy horse-mounted riot units. We have footage of a masked Antifa protester picking up horse dung and throwing it at us and the police. There was one arrest made with that. After that, this group followed us to the Providence Place Mall, where inside, busy shopping day, all sorts of shoppers just going about their business, a masked gang of these people came up to us inside the mall, distracted me from the front, and hit me over the head with a bike lock. Just missed my spine, missed my carotid artery. We had court today, and the DA tells me that even though it's his second offense, his first offense was against a Trump supporter at a rally a couple years ago. Even though it's the second offense, he's probably going to get off with no jail time. He may not even have to plead guilty to anything. They may just file it, is what this guy told me.
And your opinion on that is?
Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm not somebody who engages in vigilante justice, but this stuff goes on for so long. People see it happening on the media time and time again, and somebody's going to take justice into their own hands. It's not going to be me. Even the police.
Now, is that worth having at the end of August in the city of Boston?
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Veterans like myself and Mark Sahady, who's received a lot of backlash as a result of organizing this parade, we were told after 9/11 the reason why we go and fight these wars in overseas countries is to protect our American values in this country. We do it in these other countries so we don't have to do it here. We get out, we serve our time, we come to the United States, And what's happening on our streets is we're getting literal terrorists dressing up in all black, and they're engaging in violent terrorist acts against us. If there is a problem in this country that needs to be addressed, it is these violent protesters. If we organized a parade and there was no backlash whatsoever and nobody cared, we would go have our day in Boston, we'd walk through the streets, we'd have our ceremony at City Hall, we'd go home, and probably next year we wouldn't have another one. But since we have such a backlash, it's an indicator to us that this is something that needs to be done in our society.
All right, so let's talk about that. September 1st, you guys all get together after the parade, successful parade, there's no violence or anything. What do you guys view as, a successful parade? What in your mind?
For me, a success no matter what happens. If we show up on August 31st and there's 1,000 people who want to march in the parade and they're able to do so without any sort of interruption from these violent agitators, that's great because we were able to demonstrate and be who we are in public. If we have 1,000 parade floats and people show up looking to participate and they get shut down, it's going to happen live on TV. There's going to be a lot of media reporting, and people at home are going to see the truth of what's happening in the United States, hopefully. I wouldn't view that as a win, but it's not a loss. The only way we can lose is if nothing happens on August 31st and we're not able to have any sort of events whatsoever.
So you're going to say you'll know by Wednesday if this is a real thing?
I mean, we're moving forward with August 31st, but it may be pushed off a week or something, but we're moving forward with some sort of event.
All right. So we've only got a minute or two left here on Good
Sure.
Night. Once again, as I said, we try to be fair to everybody. Plug the event. Let people know how they can learn more about the event.
We're taking back the public square. That's one of the big things about this. We've taken the language of the left, we've weaponized it, and we're using it against them. Check us out on our website, superhappyfunamerica.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. If you want to get involved, you can email me, samson@superhappyfunamerica.com.
Only because he's a friend. John Hugo went on Kirk Minahan's podcast on Barstool Sports. Is that what you guys were looking for?
That is, no, John was not expecting that at all.
Okay.
I think he was a little disappointed because we all heard of Barstool Sports and we actually respect them quite a bit. And so when that happened, I think he was a little put off. But if, I'm speaking on behalf of myself. If Kirk wants to talk again, I'm happy to speak with him.
Okay. I think it was a good, entertaining interview, and kudos to Kirk Minahan as he goes with Barstool Sports. And we'll plug his program as well, the Kirk Minahan Show on Barstools. I thought it was good, but anything we missed?
No, I really appreciate you having us out here. It's going to be a lot for us to change the perception that the mainstream media is having, and so independent media and conservative media is where it's at.
All that I hope for is that you guys do it smart, you do it fair, you do it inclusive, and nobody gets hurt. I mean, I think
100%.
that has to be the objective. People are going to either agree or disagree, and that's the great thing about life. But safety, I think, has to be paramount. So good luck to you. You'll let us know how you make out on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
You'll let us know as well, and we'll do a follow-up segment as well.
We don't protect speech so that we can all agree. We protect speech so that we can be safe to disagree.
He's Samson Racioppi of the. Go ahead.
Super Happy Fun America.
And you guys make your decisions for yourself. We'll do a follow-up, and you're watching Good Night. We'll be back right after this.